what you can pull from it to make it a win, right? Start stacking wins. That's a big thing that we need to do more of, all of us. Okay, I'm waiting on a response from Darren is the accelerator coach. So as soon as I got a time on that, guys, I will get it to you. So odds are I'll get a text out later today to everybody, let you know. Darren's the accelerator coach we're going to bring on. I'm going to do a quick interview with him. We're going to talk a little bit about Facebook and targeting and audience and number of different things like that. So that's coming, just so everybody's aware. That's on the way. I'm waiting on the exact time because he's moving around some of his times to be able to do it. Because right now he had like 2:30 and 3 o'clock available. I said, no, we gotta stick to it because otherwise I gotta notify too many people. So as soon as I got that, you'll have it. We'll do, soon. Okay, good, awesome. All right, moving on. Any other questions you guys have? Drop me a comment or message me. So today I don't have any slides. It's going to be a little bit. I'm pulling from a topic from a video that I watched of Brendan Burchard's, but it plays in so well with kind of what I've been seeing recently. I want to, if you guys have been on any of these, you know that I talk a lot about clarity, being super clear about what you're going after and what your goals are. And sometimes that equates to, when we get to the business strategy call, I have you kind of pull and say, am I cutting off for everybody? Am I clear?
It was scratchy for a moment there, but it's better now.
Is it better now?
It's much better now.
Okay. So I won't switch my page at all. Hold on. Give me 1 second. It's going to be scratchy again for a minute. I'm going to shut down some of my other stuff.
Oh, stop. Go.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to close down some other windows so that we can just do this. Okay, that's done. Time for a new computer. All right, well, I'm gonna roll here. Hopefully a little bit better. A little bit. Focus now. All right, we're here. Okay.
You gotta become spender.
So here's what we've got. As I talk with people and we get to the business strategy and I push everyone, hey, be clear about what you want to achieve so that we can create a plan to get there, right? And I have you hone in on like a specific dollar amount, what you want life to look like. And I think there's a number of you, I've gotten this feedback and just maybe not on purpose, but I've had a few people say things like, there's this focus on SMART goals. And when I talk about SMART goals, you know what I'm talking about, right? Simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, and trackable, right? And this is something that, and part of it may be on my end. And so I will take responsibility because when I talk about things and I talk about success, I don't push on these calls. I don't build out this crazy dream of everything that's possible. And I'm not one to push like a laptop lifestyle. I talk very much about what's real and the reality of working for yourself and working from home and some of the challenges that you'll have. At the same time, I don't want to diminish some of those big, amazing things that are possible. And what you may consider big and amazing, everybody's going to have a different definition of that. But we've all, too many times recently, I have people kind of falling back to SMART goals. And it's this left way of thinking, left side brain of thinking. And it's the way, everyone throughout society is kind of training you. And we become so pessimistic and so downtrodden in so many different aspects of our lives, we give up on our hopes and dreams and anything that may be possible. And damn it, I don't want that to happen. I don't want us to just focus on that. People, we've given up on the big and sexy dreams just to focus on what's realistic. And so many times over the last few weeks, I've heard people say, well, I want to give you a goal, but I want to be realistic about what it is and what I'm thinking and what I'm going to do. And the thing about SMART goals, the simple and measurable and attainable and realistic and trackable, like they are, in my point of view, I've talked about this a little bit before, they're not as much goals as they are tasks. People set these tasks, or you guys get started here, and you get started because you start looking at it and you recognize what may be possible, and you go, hey, this can be great if I do X, Y, Z. And then by the next day or 2 days later, you've almost talked yourselves out of completely those goals, and you've shrunk back down to, well, it'll be nice if I can at least do X. And we've gotten smaller and smaller and smaller in who we are and what we think and what we're going after. And part of it comes, yes, part of it's society. Part of it is maybe a misunderstanding of kind of the way I've pushed the clarity on the goals. But when all we're doing is pushing for the SMART goals, the simple, measurable, attainable, realistic, et cetera, all of a sudden people start worrying. People talk to me and they talk to themselves. And because if you're saying this out loud to me, then I know the inner dialogue is going on 100 times more, right? Because that's the reality. If you're verbalizing something to me, I know in your head, instead of just the SMART and measurable, attainable, realistic, and trackable, you're focusing on the negative. You're focusing on those things that aren't going to push you to the next level, but hold you back so that you stay safe in your little den, right? I think this year should teach you that security is fake. It's false. You can't rely on a safe job. You sure as hell can't rely on government to keep you safe. I don't care what side of the aisle on. I don't care where you're at in the world. If this year hasn't taught you that government's only looking out for themselves, they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're winging it by the seat of their pants more than the rest of us are. If this year hasn't taught you that, then I don't know. Then yes, please go hide under your blanket, because you're just not paying attention to reality. But guys, don't give up on some of those big, sexy ass dreams. Go after them. Quit making choices based on being realistic and being scared. Now, how do we balance out clarity and the numbers? Because damn it, you need numbers if you're going to build a business. How do we build that out with that bigger purpose and something, beyond that? And part of this, so this comes from an amazing training. And yes, if you go listen to the video from Brendan Burchard, where he talks about SMART goals and dumb goals, I promise you will pull some of the things that I'm going to say today are straight from him, because I think it's a fantastic training. The ideas I'm going to talk about right now, dumb goals instead of SMART goals, that's 100% him. It's just, I felt it was incredibly valid with so many of you that I've talked to recently. So when he's talking about dumb goals, what we're doing is we're flipping the switch from that SMART to thinking and looking at things a little bit differently, getting a little bit creative. When you look throughout history, people that have made a difference, because a lot of you have expressed that it's not just about the income. You want to make an impact. You want to do something differently. And if it's world changing, or if it's world changing where it's your world, it's your community, it's your immediate family, because we all have our different versions of the world. If you're looking to make a change, it's not going to happen by simply rolling through with SMART and realistic goals. It's just not. So you need to start looking at things differently. Now, so he talks about dumb goals. So here's what we're going to do. The first piece of the dumb goals, it's the D. And what he talks about, there's two different ways you can look at it. You can look at it. Let's start creating goals that deal with dreams or destiny. Let's look beyond the simple. Let's go big. And yeah, there's those examples that are out there. Christopher Columbus, of course, it was not realistic for him to think that he was going to sail around the world, because especially at the time they thought you'd fall off. And here he ends up in America, right? It wasn't realistic for the people that said, hey, let's fly. Let's put ourselves inside this metal container and shoot ourselves up with a bunch of rocket fuel, and we'll go to that ball that's up in the air. Let's head off to the moon. It wasn't realistic for Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos to kind of create what they've done. It wasn't realistic for founder of Apple. Why is my brain stopped right now? Who's founder of Apple?
Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Good Lord. All right. It wasn't realistic for him to kind of say, hey, this guy that wasn't great at tech, by the way, he wasn't the programmer. Somebody else was. It wasn't great, for him to. Cell phones were around.
He had to call on Bill Gates to do his programming for him at Microsoft.
Right. Gates and the other guys working for him. He said, "Here's what I want. I want a home computer, and instead of people having to learn how to write code, I want them to be able to click on a mouse. I want them to be able to click on this thing so that they can get things going on, within their computer. I want every home in America to have one." And this is a time when the rooms is what it took to have a computer, right? None of that was realistic. And we can go on and on and on. Look, you go something simpler. There's a player right now for the Boston Celtics named Jaylen Brown, and his story is fantastic. I mean, in high school, one of his teachers told him, look, in 5 years, you're either going to be working in fast food or you're going to be in jail. And here he is, an NBA player. And on and on and on, we can share those examples, right? I shared a little bit that story, Matt Clark, 10 years ago, 12, I mean, how many years ago was it now? Jesus, more than 15 years ago, where he said, no one's ever going to listen to you, Andrew. No one's ever going to have, you're not going to have anything valuable to say. You're not going to understand anything about marketing and sales. I took that to heart. After a while, I turned it around, damn it. And I've still got some big ass goals. There's more that I want to be able to do, but you guys, you need to start to set up your goals as something sexy, something that's going to wake you up as opposed to just simple. Right? We don't get out of bed for simple goals. We don't get out of bed for tasks. Tasks are what helps you complete those goals, helps you chase them down. So whether it's your destiny, or it's a dream, but something where, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, you can turn around and look and say, damn it, I'm so glad that I did that. Right? The next one for dumb goals, is uplifting. Now, here's something that a lot of you on this call need to understand. When you set a goal, it needs to be something that empowers you, that uplifts you, that makes you better and pushes you in that direction. A lot of you guys are setting a goal like, I want to, you set a goal, I want to lose 10 pounds. It's negative. I want to eliminate debt. That's part of the process to get to whatever that big dream is, right? Because none of you, when you think about losing weight, you think about the frustration, you think about the challenge, you think about all of the food that you ate, you think about how unhappy you are with how you are currently, right? When you think about eliminating the debt, you're imagining what you did to get there. You're imagining all of the stress that you feel every time you talk about it. And then you bring that to whatever vehicle it is you're using to eliminate the debt. And it's here and it's your online business. And so you're trying to get somewhere and you're sitting down and you're equating this to that negativity. It's not going to do anything for you. It's just going to frustrate the hell out of you. You hire someone like Paul does financial advising. If every time I talk to my financial advisor, I'm saying, how are you going to help me get out of debt? What are you doing? I'm going to start to resent those phone calls and I'm going to start to equate him with that problem. And I'm sure he's dealt with that. I'm sure a lot of you have. Some of you that are doctors and the only reason people come to you is because they screwed up their health, as opposed to saying, hey, how can you help me improve my health from scratch? How can you help me avoid the medications in the future, as opposed to fixing the shit that I already broke? Quit setting your goals to fix what's broken and start setting your goals to become something new and improved, something uplifting, right? Is that clear? Do I need to hammer that home anymore, guys? Right? When I talk about health, I'm not pushing myself to eat better and eat clean and eat food that may not always be super tasty and go like last night, be up on the Stairmaster, walking on stairs and barely being able to look at anybody because my mouth is just hanging open and I'm breathing, I'm sweating, dripping everywhere. I don't do that because it's fun, because it sure as hell isn't, right? I do that because when I think about things, and then I've mentioned this before, my dad died when he was 48. And yes, there was some issues in the hospital, but he was overweight for a lot of his life and he was up and down and his diet wasn't great. And so when I think about my life, you know what, I've been scared to die young. I've been scared that I'm not going to be old enough to, be there when my kids graduate, to grow old with the woman that I love. Yeah, that fear is there. But instead of going through life acting out of fear, I want to be healthier this year than I've ever been in my life. I want to, when I reach 50, I want to be able to run with my kids and maybe by then grandkids and do some amazing things with them that I wouldn't be able to do if I was just focusing on the negative. Go for the uplifting things. If you're looking at your business, look at what can happen in an uplifting manner as opposed to the negative, right? Does that make sense for everybody? You've got to figure out how your goals are lined up right now. And if they are negative in any way, you've got to rewrite them. You look at the same goal and say, okay, how can I look at this from the other side of the coin? How can I look at it a little bit different? Okay. Next thing is that these dumb goals, the dreams, the uplifting goals, they have to be method friendly. This is where the connection comes into what I've pushed when I talk about clarity and having an exact number so that we can create a plan. There's got to be a method to the madness. It can't just be, there's a difference in dumb and stupid. Okay. Right. Like, I know nothing about medicine. I'm not going to go create, a cure for COVID, but I can figure out a method to get my business up and going. So part of what's that, Paul?
You will make a lot of money if you do.
Right. Hell, there's a good chance that a lot of those things that, that are out there aren't necessarily curing it either, but they're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Moving right along, not getting in that discussion. The point of the matter is that there is a method to that madness. There's a method to be able to achieve anything that you give me, guys. When we're talking one-on-one. Yeah, I want a number when we look at clear goals for the year. And then when we get one-on-one, thankfully, and I appreciate this, some of you have shared some of those bigger impact dreams, and every single one of you should have them. It should be more. And it can't just be that car, and it can't just be the nice house, because once you get there, then what? Right? And then some of you are saying, and I know it's true, some of you are saying on this call, well, what does that have to do with an online business? Because my dream and my impact and what I'm going to do here, what does that have to do with this? Well, look, guys, if you build this up right and you do the right things, you get exposure. You start meeting new people. Doors start to open. You learn skills about personal development and people skills and human nature and all of these things that are relevant no matter what you want to do with your dream, with your goal, with your destiny, wherever you're going. There is a method that you can attain through this process, right? So yeah, sales, marketing, business, things like this, it absolutely does. And I say that because, I had a conversation last night with my mentor, Jason, the guy that recommended Big Leap. I've talked about him plenty. The guy that I connected with after my first failed online business 7 years ago, right? And he kind of helped me get started. Jason, one of his big dreams, so years and years ago, he struggled with addiction, drugs, alcohol, spent time in prison. He really went through it, got himself clean, fixed himself up. By the time I met him, he had turned around and he was doing some great things. Throughout the last few years that I've known him, he's built schools in villages in Tibet and Nepal. He's built homes in Haiti for families that, if they don't have a home that's large enough, they will sell their kids into indentured servitude, slavery, right? So they've gone year after year, they go and they build houses for these families. They sponsor children. So there's additional money to help pay for school and clothing and everything else. He's done some amazing things. Well, over the course of the last year and a half, he's been working on his own passion project, and it's grown and grown and grown. So he's launched something called the FAM Project, which is built around families and helping families deal with, whether kids to adults, any type of addiction that may be out there, whether it's substance or pornography or technology or whatever, how to help them come closer. He's connecting local businesses. They're fighting against all sorts of different things. Some of you guys and someone recently, I don't know if they're on this call or not, so I'm not going to call them out, but someone recently mentioned someone that they know that works with a group called the Underground Railroad, that the current one that helps fight human and child trafficking, right? Well, Jason, my mentor, he's teamed up with them, and he's teamed up with all of these experts around the country. And he's starting to do, he's getting ready to launch this FAM project that's going to affect a lot of people, not just here, but really worldwide. And I'm super excited for it. When it does launch, I will absolutely let you guys know. If you want to get involved in any way, there will be opportunities. I'm not pushing anything. I'm not affiliated. I'm not making any money with it, but it's something that I believe in. But look, that came about because I launched a Disney store that sucked. Right? That decision to try and market Anna and Elsa, nightgowns for girls and R2-D2 backpacks and Chewbacca towels and Mickey Mouse keychains that I made 7-8 years ago and I lost thousands of dollars on, turned into a mentor, turned into one of my favorite books, turned into a friendship, turned into an opportunity to partake in a project that is going to make a difference in other people's lives. And I'm grateful for that. So some of you guys are going, what does this have to do with my partner funnel or this or that? Quit dreaming so small. Quit trying to be smart. Start acting dumb, right? But because there is a method to the madness, and we can figure out a method if you know where you're looking to go. And the last part of that dumb, the B, stands for behavioral, right? The goals have to be based to a behavior. And what you do is you start to create certain triggers. And so this is where the tasks and the other little things come into play. Every single day, you create those behaviors so that you can be better, right? Like if part of this is to become the absolute best partner I can be to my significant other, then I've got to create those triggers throughout the day. If I'm looking to become, the best business person I can be, the best entrepreneur I can be, the best marketer, whatever it is that you want to become, you've got to create triggers every single day that trigger that, right? If you're standing in line or you're waiting in line, if you're in a, especially now because you're socially distanced, so you're not having little random conversations with people, trigger something in your thoughts to say, okay, so what level am I at today with my self-awareness? What level am I at with my dedication to the little tasks that are getting me to that next level? Am I still on pace to do what I need to do to continue forward? You've got to be able to create behaviors, and those triggers for the behaviors, those are the things that keep you moving forward. They aren't the things that are sexy that wake you up. You've got to have the destiny, the dream. That's what gets you up out of bed. The 20 minutes of cardio isn't going to get you out of bed. Living your life in a way that you can see generations of your family be healthy and enjoy your daily activities with them no matter what. That's something that I can get up out of bed and go to work for. Creating a business that's going to generate the revenue that I can take care of the kids. I can help my mom. My youngest sister, I just found out, well, she hasn't done her test, but she's probably got COVID. She's an entrepreneur. She's got her little stylist, her hair salon. She's been running for a while. She's an amazing individual, but she's firmly in that S quadrant. She can't go do anything for a little while. So being in a position where I can say, you know what? Yeah, I can help out a little bit there. That's an amazing thing for me. Having an opportunity to do something like that, yeah, that gets me up out of bed. Now, setting a goal of getting yourself out of debt, setting a goal of, well, I want to be realistic. A couple $100. If I can do that in the first few months, that'd be great. That ain't going to get you anywhere, people. So when I talk about clarity, please understand I'm talking about the whole picture. Don't sell yourself short. Build up something sexy. Go after a dream that's going to get you going. Be dumb about it. And become everything you're supposed to be. You decide on what that is. You decide on your goals. You just define success for yourself and get up and make it happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got for you today. I hope you take at least something to heart. Evaluate your goals. Make sure that they're not just SMART goals. And if they are, transition them to the tasks. Understand that that's part of the method to get where you're looking to go. If any of them are not uplifting, if you're looking at them, in the wrong manner, flip them around and rewrite them and look at things differently. And if you've got a question, if you're at that point, send me an email. I do my best to reach you guys as often as possible. The last couple of days have been kind of crazy. I've got some appointments booked with some of you. I will do what I can. My last call with you guys last night, I got off a call at 9:30. So I'm doing what I can because I've got some big dreams, and part of that includes seeing some of you guys do some amazing things. So have an amazing day. As soon as I got word from Darren on when the accelerator call is going to be, I'll let you guys know. So come to the noon call anyway and just keep showing up. And I promise it'll be worth it. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I will talk with you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.